Welcome to the fourth session of our sixth week of this course, Marketing Management Part 2, and we are discussing about marketing channels, distribution channels, network of availability of products, goods and services. Today's session will be a recap of what we have discussed during the last three sessions, as well as some deeper understanding of some of the issues by using models. The first three lectures I have actually used material from this particular book. This is called Sales and Distribution Management by Panda and Sahadev. It is Oxford publication, but in this summarization, this particular lecture, I am going to take the help of the famous book on marketing management by Kotler and Keller. This is the new 15th edition, and I am going to the material that I am going to talk about you will find in chapter number 12 and chapter number 13. So, the first issue here is that marketing channels are often synonymous with the concept of value network. So, value network or marketing channel, therefore, it represent a network of independent organizations participating in a process of making a product or service available for use or consumption. This is kind of the academic definition of a channel, and the value gets transmitted from the from the component or subsystem suppliers to the manufacturer, to the distributors, to the resellers, to the ultimate consumer, and value flows along this network often in multi-tier interactive channels, as we have discussed before, and at each stage therefore, there is also a gain sharing by each channel partner. So, multi-channel marketing therefore means using two or more marketing channels to reach the customer segment in one market area. And a new concept which we have discussed in the last session about this interweaving of e-channels, electronic channels, information and communication technology based e-marketing, e-commerce channels and telephone marketing channels and physical channels. This combination is the concept of omnichannel. That means, when we now think about distribution, we have to think about all these possibilities, and often we have to use multiple possibilities together with shared responsibilities. And in the last session we have discussed how different channel partners are to be brought on the same page with a clear understanding of shared responsibilities and how marketing functions are distributed among these channel partners. So, the digital channel revolution is actually has now created in some ways lot of advantages in distribution. It has also created some new challenges, because for example, I discussed in the last during the last three sessions that the interrelationship between physical stores and electronic stores are now becoming not separate, but quite interactive. People may choose make a decision about a product in comparison to the competitive products on the web, but they can physically go and check out their ultimate couple of shortlisted solutions and then maybe make the final buying decision in the store. So, things like store ambience or store layout or store convenience, these sort of things are now also to be thought in conjunction with the website design and the interactivity of the website and so on. So, because somebody may place an order online and pick it up from the store, or on the other way it can be actually comparisons can be made on the web, and then somebody can go and make the purchase decision at the store, but the delivery may be done by a third party logistics partner. So, there are these interesting interweaving, and also these days very important, because when you buy something from a physical store, usually you will go and return if you are not satisfied the item to the same store. But now if something has been decided, you have done the comparative comparison shopping on the web, then you have gone to a store and actually you have made the purchase decision. Now the delivery has been made to you by a third party logistics partner, a courier company, and then you want to return the product because you are not satisfied, then this entire what we call the return chain is another interesting part of the whole channel design that has now become more and more important because of this coordinated but separate entities operating in the value chain. So, this return can sometimes be made at a nearby store, or it can be picked up by a courier company, which is more often done, and this whole return chain is to be thought of in conjunction with the supply chain. Okay. I think this diagram that I am going to use, I have taken an actual example from Larsen and Toubro, a major Indian company who they have a very large electrical business group, and for certain products, industrial switch gear products, control gear products, they are India's lead supplier. And if you see therefore in this diagram, we have looked at 5 different flows. The first one is the physical flow. So, in the physical flow, as you see here, we have the physical flow of the material of the devices made by Larsen Toubro electrical business group. So, from the supplier to the transporter or warehouser to the manufacturer, this is the supply chain. This is where Larsen and Toubro is located, this block, and then the finished product based on these inputs. So, this is the supply chain, and then it goes to the delivery chain through transporters, warehousers, to dealers, to transporters again, and to customers. So, this is the physical flow, say from a component or subsystem level to the final delivery of the product or the system. So, this side is the supply chain, this side is the delivery chain, and this is to be thought of in conjunction, because sometimes, as I discussed just now, you may have to also think of the return chain, because you may have to return some defective material and so on. Now, if we ignore the return chain issue at this stage, then physical flow goes in conjunction with title flow. So, in title flow, what happens is the title of the goods or the input material, that is from supplier it will move to manufacturer, from manufacturer to dealer, from dealer to customer. So, in a way a dealer represents actually a very large customer in some sense, and that is why just like we have customer relationship management is a big issue. We will discuss some part of it in some later session, but this partner relationship management has also become very important, because partners, instead of being treated as subsidiaries or somebody who is serving your cause, are to be now treated as somebody who is helping your cause. So, they are like large customers in many ways. So, even in B2C, this loop, manufacturer to dealer, often can be considered as a B2B loop. So, payment flow therefore happens from the manufacturer from the customer to the banks, to the dealers, to the again through banks to the manufacturer, and then on the other side through the bank it goes to suppliers. Information flow about market conditions, the market research information, as well as possibilities, material availabilities and all these things is another important flow. And as you know, these days using ERP, many large customers are actually tied to their major suppliers. So we should look at the information flow also, and as you see information flow, they are all bidirectional arrows. So therefore, information flow between the customer and the transporter, or information flow between the customer and the bank, and or the transporter and the bank and the dealer. Again, from the manufacturer to the transporter, warehouses, banks and the dealers. Everywhere we are using bidirectional arrows. So the information systems are very interactive, and they are actually today the importance of information across the value chain has become so important that organizations like very large organizations, retail organizations, they know that even like Walmart is suppose their information system knows every soap that is sold at every outlet across the whole country. So they have thousands of outlets. Even if one soap is sold from location number 935, their information system will know. So they can actually track their inventory movement, they can track their demand pattern, they can track their next week's schedule, next 3 days schedule for delivery of stuff to their dealers. They know it almost minute to minute because of this interactive, totally connected warehouses. So often what happens is that if a customer has picked up something from the dealer, immediately the information can reach right to the component supplier, because they often work on the basis of replenishment management principle. That means if one soap is sold, then one soap is to be delivered to the inventory of that particular dealer, which means that correspondingly that one soap should be part of the manufacturing schedule, and then therefore corresponding input material should come. I am slightly exaggerating it with respect to a soap, but if you think in terms of an automobile, or if you think in terms of a refrigerator, or you think in terms of a television, then this will become very clear that how this real time information flow today is highly increasing the economic efficiency of organizations by creating an integrated value chain of these delivery chain and supply chain partners. Then comes promotion flow. Again, in promotion flow also there is an interactive role between advertising agency and the customer and the dealer and the manufacturer. Again, they are part of an ecosystem. So next week when we discuss about integrated marketing communication, we have to think in consonance with this concept of integrated marketing channel. So the role of marketing channel therefore are different. There are 0 level channels, 1 level, 2 level, 3 level channel, and the other thing that we had discussed about this return or reverse flow channel. And similarly there can be service sector channels. So let us look at this. This is a consumer marketing channel and this is an industrial marketing channel. We have discussed this same diagram earlier. I am doing just a recapitulation, that there can be a 0 level which is direct from manufacturer to consumer. There can be 1 level that is manufacturer to retailer to the consumer. There can be 2 level manufacturer to wholesaler to retailer to consumer. There can be 3 level manufacturer to wholesaler to jobber to retailer to consumer. In India, companies like HUL or PNG or ITC, they usually have this kind of a 2 level. There may be sometimes wholesaler, and between the wholesaler and the small retailer there may be a big retailer. So there can be 2 level or 3 level like this, and which is quite often deployed across the country. And sometimes before the wholesaler there may be what we call C&F agents, which are third party people who are just doing the warehousing and logistics management. So manufacturer just produces and sends it, and the C&F agents then handles it's dispatched to the various locations, to various wholesalers and so on. So, this is the multi-level. In case of industrial marketing channels, it is almost similar. There are high value items through direct sales channels goes from manufacturers to industrial customer, but say like the L&T electrical business group that we discussed, many of their products actually follows this, the manufacturer to industrial distributor to industrial customer. Sometimes I discuss this case, like for example, if there is a large electrical system tender, so there may be a manufacturer's representative that can be their own sales force, or it can be some kind of a sales consultant or sales intermediary, and they may be actually taking some value added responsibility, like putting the electrical switch gear and control gear in a panel and then supplying it to the industrial customer. So, that becomes a kind of a 2 level, and there are of course 3 level also, manufacturer to manufacturer, sales branch. Many sales branch in this sort of company like Havel or L&T or Schneider, they have also local sales and stock structures. So, they may be directly, so there is a stock transfer from the manufacturer to the sales and stocking operation, regional operation, and from there it is sold to the various customers. So, industrial distributors are almost always there for products like, which are like, just like we have fast moving consumer goods, there can be fast moving electrical goods, a new coinage these days. And so, industrial products are now also often using consumer marketing techniques for products like say domestic light fittings or a large building electrical or automation products, and they are actually same considerations which apply in marketing for image creation or confidence creation or trust creation in the customer's mind. In case of a consumer product like say detergent or soap, the same kind of factors are applicable also to industrial products. So, all products now are buying decisions are partly utilitarian or what we call logic based, or but partly it is also emotion based and intuition based and so on. So, the channel strategies as well as the promotion strategies have to keep this in mind, that there is increasing competition, and as a result there is continuous combination of rational as well as affective reasoning in consumers' mind when they make their buying decision, and both channels as well as promotion strategies must take that into account. Channel design decisions we have already discussed. They are actually based on desired lot size, waiting and delivery time. For example, if it is some staple product like rice or atta, then you cannot wait for 2 days for delivery. So, your distribution channel should be such that when the customer needs it, he or she should be able to pick it up within a few minutes and walking few hundred meters. They neither can wait for 2 days nor they will be prepared to travel 5 kilometers. On the other hand, for shopping products or specialty products, the customer may actually can wait, like for say for example for a refrigerator or for a television, but even there the customer will be interested to deal with a nearby dealer, so that if there is any problem, the customer would like to would like the geographical proximity. So, spatial convenience, delivery convenience, time convenience, all these are important channel design decisions. And sometimes when somebody buys a refrigerator, the customer may also be interested to buy the voltage stabilizer, or the customer may wanted to buy some containers needed for a microwave oven, or from fridge to oven sort of facility. So, they will usually like to deal with a entity who will have the refrigerator as well as all these accessories available, and of course service backup. So, these are the channel design decision criteria. The other decisions on the overall sense for the organization we have to make are types of intermediaries, number of intermediaries, and terms and responsibilities for all the intermediaries. Remember, in the last discussion, yesterday's discussion, we showed that chart where there are these different intermediaries and different marketing responsibilities. So, this XY matrix, the whole chart is to be filled up, so that all parties are aware that in the marketing function what role each entity is playing and how they are related to the others. Now, few other definitions that we can have: exclusive distribution, which means that for example, Larsen and Toubro for their electrical business, they use this strategy that they have distributors who will only carry usually L&T products and not any other competitive product in that particular range. The distributor may carry related products, like L&T is not in the business of UPS. So, they will not carry competitive products of Schneider because they are exclusive distributors of Larsen Toubro, but they have other products which are not L&T competing with L&T, and that completes their basket. Then there can be selective distribution, where you may decide not to cover the whole market either geographically or income segment wise. So, you may be located in certain specific high end malls because your product is not actually for mass market. So, that is kind of a selective distribution. The selective distribution can be done through distributors as well as through your own showrooms or your own exclusive stores. But in some products, goods or services, like Starbucks is supposed to cover every entry and exit of a large office building. So, every entrance you can take or every exit you will find a Starbucks outlet. That is kind of intensive distribution. Intensive distribution is also followed for staple products, convenience products like food and beverage products or personal care products, because you want to be present on as many store shelves as possible, because because these are mass consumption items. So, that is where we use intensive distribution. We have discussed this point, the terms and responsibilities of channel members like pricing policy, conditions of sale, distributors' territorial rights, and mutual services and responsibilities. This distributors' territorial rights, this is actually even though sounds simple, and distributors are bound by agreements, but obviously for business they will often compete with other distributors in the overlap areas. We will discuss this in a short while. Before that, I want to conclude this structuring issue or channel design decision by using this very good diagram, and that is actually, if we draw on one side value addition of sale on the y axis from low to high and cost per transaction, that means whether it is a 20 rupees sale or 200 rupees sale or 20,000 rupees sale. So, that is again from low to high. So, if it is cost per transaction is low, so for example, it is a packet of biscuit or a bottle of hair oil, then and value addition of sale is very low, then I think you will see more and more such products, such grocery products or daily use products will move to internet based channeling. Of course, in a country like India, where the internet penetration is still not very significant, we still see a big role for local retail stores or kirana stores as we call them, And so this is the channel which is catering to low cost per transaction and low value added. But this other part where actually we have high cost per transaction, say for example a refrigerator or other consumer durables like a microwave oven or a CNC machine or a large electrical control panel, we will see that the cost per transaction is high, value added by the channel partner is high. So, we will see usually distributors, value added partners or direct sales force people working. So, I think the whole approach to the market can be very nicely understood by looking at this particular diagram by drawing value added low to high, cost per transaction low to high, and that will show us this particular map. Usually when we have this multi-tier from the manufacturer to the wholesaler or C&F agent to the wholesaler to the retailer to the customer. So, that is like a vertical marketing system. That vertical marketing system can be often actually even the channels can be owned by the main manufacturer. So, there are companies who actually own their own distribution channel, or it can be contractual vertical marketing system. So, the distributors may be separate entities, both are happening. For example, we discussed about the Maruti Nexa. So, Maruti has created these owned channels for marketing high end cars. So, these are not third party entities usually, these are very often owned by Maruti, these showrooms come distribution points, and so that is like a corporate vertical marketing system. So, e-commerce we all know the use of website to transact or facilitate the sale of products and services, but interestingly there are now more and more not pure click but brick and click, or as they say click and mortar. Earlier there were only brick and mortar stores and there were click and color stores, but nowadays we see a mix more and more. So, we have this what we call brick and click companies. Mobile commerce, similar thing but using smartphone. And lastly, channels exist with multiple entities, and we discussed it is a complex network. So, there will be conflicts, there will be horizontal conflicts, there will be vertical conflicts. So, horizontal conflicts means there may be conflict with respect to territory between two distributors, and vertical means there can be a conflict between the distributor and the retailer. These will have to be managed by the manufacturer. This is very important because when number of business entities are working with each other, there will be conflict of interest and there will be therefore conflict, and it cannot be avoided, cannot be eliminated, but it has to be managed. This horizontal channel conflict, vertical channel conflict, there can be multi-channel conflict. So, channel conflicts happen due to incompatibility of goals, or the same customer in an overlapping geography may be offering an interesting business opportunity. So, two distributors may say this is my case and the other distributor may say no, this customer is in my territory. Often it happens that there is a large factory being set up. So, a distributor may be serving that particular area where the factory is coming up, but they may be buying machines which are coming from so for example, the factory is being set up at Noida in UP, but the machines are coming from suppliers in Bangalore or in Bombay. So, the distributors who are supporting the machine suppliers may say that this is my case, so I should get the distributor commission because I am supplying the product to the machine, but the factory located in UP, the distributor serving the Noida area may say I am influencing the standardization of products in favor of Larsen and Toubro, therefore the commission should be mine. So, this sort of conflicts may arise due to differences in perception, and ultimately there are both parties are they have a case. So, we may actually create a dual compensation in such cases, and or some cases there can be a strategic justification that whose influence is more important on that basis. And sometimes companies allow the coexistence of a managed conflict situation. So, what we call co-optation means competitive cooperation. So, they may compete as well as cooperate, and such situation ultimately if it is nothing can be solved, then you go to a legal recourse. So, that sort of brings us to the conclusion of this discussion on marketing channels, structuring of marketing channels, the roles of different types of channel partners, how they are to be coordinated and mapped and so on. We will discuss now certain specific types of channel issues, mainly this whole area of retailing. So, retail management is a vibrant interesting area of today's marketing, because that can be physical retail, there can be e-retail, and retailing is now becoming quite challenging because that is where the battle is fought, and we will discuss retail management as a part of our overall discussion this week on channel management from tomorrow. Thank you.